So being a master blender of American mash and grain, how exactly did you go about learning how to blend whiskeys?
Well, first and foremost, I reject the term master blender. I don't think I've earned that at this point, and I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable with that term. Maybe one day. To be honest with you, I have learned to blend through doing this. I would love to say that I was at home tinkering with bottles I had on my shelf and marrying multiple things together and knew that I was going to be good at this, but that's just not true. The truth of it is that I have spent the last 7 years really training my nose and really training my palate. The certifications that I have gone through have obviously helped, but I've done a lot of work just improving my sensory analysis at home. Writing the reviews for the articles that we write on Mash and Grain has been a big part of that. But I tell people, Chase and I had never blended apple juice together before we started working on Borrowed Page Volume 1. Again, it truly boggles my mind that anybody trusted us to do it. And I think for that reason, initially at least, we came up with the concept with Borrowed Page that we were going to, for every release, bring in a new guest blender. So as I mentioned before, Ann Dimmick, who at the time was working for Watershed, now she works for Ohio Liquor. Before she worked at Watershed, she worked for Wild Turkey under Campari. She was our guest blender for Volume 1. And we picked her brain like crazy. And she gave us a ton of tips and tricks while we were creating that first blend. So a lot of my process now comes from working on Volume 1 and working with Ann Dimmick.